Hello boys and girls, GLL back for another video. Okay, what planet is Favyn on with this how Clamber significantly changes Halo's gameplay video? Okay.
People fully grasp is what the extent of this effect is. Clamber greatly increases your vertical mobility. If you take a look at this model I whipped up in Forge, you can see two separate elevated ledges. One ledge represents the maximum jump height you can achieve with a crouch jump compared to the maximum jump height you can achieve when you add clamber to it. Now, I basically made this model by moving each ledge up and up until I couldn't make either jump anymore. If you wanted to split hairs, maybe you could add a few more pixels on top of each, but for the sake of this example, I found each ledge to be an accurate representation of a player's maximum vertical capability. As you can see just by looking at it, Clamber significantly increases your maximum vertical mobility. In fact, when I measured this off, I found that clambering increased your vertical mobility by just a hair under 50% of your original maximum jump height. Clamber gives you an extra half of a jump on top of your original jump. That's insane. Just in case the visual model wasn't selling you on how big of an impact it makes, hopefully that knowledge will. And as a little side note, Clamber actually increases your horizontal mobility to an extent as well, because in some instances, even if you don't have the distance and you fall short, the ledge may still fall in line with Clamber's success window and successfully pull you up anyway. Now, admittedly, this isn't as drastic of an increase as what it does for you vertically, but it is significant, especially when you consider that this applies to every jump in the game. You know...
Right. So, okay, this analysis is horrendously flawed. Okay, he's going on the basis that Clamber is the only mechanic that they'd be keeping in Halo or something, right? Clamber by itself, shown by his own analysis here, wouldn't make a lot of difference. He's trying to say it would make a lot of difference, but his analysis here shows that it wouldn't. And I can explain why this is. It's because his analysis is wrong. Okay, first of all, he's just shown you that the height is higher with Clamber, so that means not only can you jump a further distance with Clamber, but if this is a higher ledge, then you can still reach that ledge. Right? So he needs way more analysis on this than he has done. He's done this very crude, very short bit of analysis, which is good. It's at least he's thinking about these things. But there's way more depth in this. Needs way more depth. So this is your regular crouch jump, right? Okay, so what would a jump without crouch jump be? Would that be somewhere here or something? Okay, so if you were to fuck up a crouch jump, where would you land? Okay. Now, secondly, this is a clamber jump, right? So would taking a run up, would sprinting here and then jumping, would that give you any extra momentum by itself? Or do you need the thrust? Now, when you take the thrust into account, then that's going to mean that this is going to send you somewhere over here, because the thrust is quite a big boost forward. So it's going to send you somewhere over here. Now, with the clamber plus the thrust, this can be a higher ledge because you can thrust straight across. So you've got a... You saw the other one they did where it was half a jump higher or whatever. So this could be somewhere, maybe not half jump high, because once you are in the air, you're going to be coming back down, but it can be significantly higher than this jump. Okay, so not only you can catch the ledge here, this could also be slightly higher. And it could also be way further over, so you've got a higher position here. Now, combining that with the jump there, you've got your thrust plus your clamber. So it makes everything way easier to grab onto, and every jump becomes way easier, and you can jump way fucking further. So this analysis is flawed. Now, if you're just basically looking at it as clamber, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But we know that people who watch these kind of videos are idiots. Okay, especially on FAVYNS channel. Sorry, Favyn, but that's just the truth. Okay. Them are the types of people you fucking get when you stick up for Green Skull and people like that. You get idiots on your channel. So, okay, they're going to be saying that, oh, look, it doesn't make that much of a difference, because they'll just get this screen grab, and they won't look at the fucking thrust. They won't look at any of this. So he's dooming himself here because he hasn't added in with any follow-up or anything about the thrust and all that. Now, that's without even going into the ground pound, which and the thrusters themselves, the hovering ability when you aim in, what do they call it? You know, the hover ability, basically. So you can run to here, then you can thrust. Now, whether the running motion helps, I believe it would. So you've got your infinite sprint, so you can always be sprinting. So you can't run out of sprint and fuck up there because you've got infinite sprint. So say you're running at it from here, you could fuck up because you've run out of sprint and then you can't make the jump. So you need to activate your sprint at the right time, say if you were playing on Halo Reach or something, to then do a jump. And you can do sprint jumps in Halo Reach if you start sprinting off of a certain point and then jump across. That's why I'm saying it would presume it would make a difference. Okay, so sprinting would give you a bit of a jump, and that would be like a bit of a pro jump because you'd still be crouch jumping, but you'd have that burst of speed and you would have to sprint at the exact right time to make that specific jump. There's maybe 2 or 3 or 4 sprint jumps off the top of my head I can think of an Halo Reach, like the one on Spire or whatever, you know. I'm not going to go into all of them. But, so the sprinting is going to help. So you've got the infinite sprint, so you can't fuck up on your infinite sprint because it's infinite, which is a point he never seems to understand, that it's infinite now. So it's now way overpowered instead of just being a normal sprint like it was in Halo Reach and Halo 4, unless you had the perk in Halo 4. But if you don't have perks and you just have it normal, then it's not that overpowered. So you've got your infinite sprint. Then you're going to boost. So you're going to be flying over here. Now, if you're still fucking up, if you aren't going to make a jump, what's the next thing to do? Now you scope in, right? Because you scope in, you start hovering. So then you can hover here. So say you were trying to kill somebody on this ledge, and you see him from over here, and you've got a shotgun or something, right? Now you can, or a rocket launcher maybe, or something, you know, and you know, you come up with this scenario, but you've got to kill this guy over here, and you want to get to him fast. Okay, so now you run, jump, dash. You still aren't going to make this. Even with the Clamber, you're not going to make this. What are you going to do? You're going to start hovering. You can aim and hover in mid-air and still shoot people. No one talks about that fucking ability, but that's bogus. Now also, if you're some kind of ninja with the ground pound, you can actually go from here and they get a further thrust. So if you stage your jump, get up into the air, and then you can maybe, let's say if the platform actually was like that, so there actually is a bit over there, you can actually change in mid-air where you want to go. So you could run up from here, thrust, jump. I'm not going to make this, but if I hover here, turn and ground pound, now I can grab onto this ledge over here, because after the ground pound, I'm going to be on that ledge. So the jumping on Halo 5 is beyond fucking any kind of fucking tests, I would say. But all this sort of stuff needs to be discussed and accounted for. Now, the easiest thing is just to remove all this shit, because it's not a Halo game anymore. It's a fucking Destiny game, Call of Duty game. It's Mirror's Edge. It's not fucking Halo. Anything but Halo is what it is. So we need to go sort of back to the Halo 3, Halo 4s, and the Halo Reaches. That's where we need to be looking for inspiration for the next Halo game. Okay, and we also need to get Certain Affinity in and 343 out, because 343 don't have a fucking clue, and everybody knows that by now. Okay, if you watch the Ryan Darcy interview that's on my channel, or you go and find the original link or whatever, which I think is on my channel as well, you'll see that they don't have a clue. They literally just copied stuff off Call of Duty, copied stuff off Destiny. That's all they did. And they wanted to make the Master Chief like Batman, which makes no fucking sense. Okay, it's just constant idiocy with 343. So they won't have done any of these tests. They won't be thinking about this stuff. They don't even plan ahead like this. So what makes you think they give a shit? This is probably more research than 343 ever did with their fucking game.
A designer has to be consciously aware that at any moment a player can hold their A button down and gain an extra 50% of a jump. Not only for the places designers want you to go, but for the places they don't want you to go.
LG, he likes big guns and big punches, right?
And
Oh!
big explosions
Yes,
as
one.
George Sang gets blasted to infinity and beyond.
Wow, shout out to Buzz Lightyear.
Yes, you are a toy.
Alright, LG, where are you?
What
Return
are
to
you
the
doing
battlefield,
there?
my
You're
friend.
on the battlefield.
Where are you, my friend?
Where are you going? Okay.
Okay.
Wow. So he is.
So, is that even legal?
I am not sure. Let's go to another person.
Not only for the places designers want you to go, but for the places they don't want you to go.
Yeah. Did something happen to why they're doing this? I am not sure.
Yeah, me too.
They are just outside the map.
Yes.
But for the places they don't want you to go.
Let's see them. Look at them. With the power of the free cam, they're just camping right there.
Yeah. It shouldn't be, guys. If this is under regulations, it shouldn't be.
You know, I stated earlier how more and more people are coming around to the idea of a Halo game that doesn't have sprint.
Help with this escapability problem either, infinite sprint. First, let me mention that second to whether
Now, this is a good point, because I've made this point several fucking times over the last fucking couple of years about infinite sprint, and now here is a guy who worked on the game, not talking about sprint, but talking about infinite sprint, okay? So right there, everything I've been saying over the past so many fucking years has just been proved fucking right. Okay, sprint is not a problem. Infinite sprint is a different matter altogether. He's just said there, infinite sprint. Didn't mention sprint. Infinite sprint, right there. Boom.
we included D-Scope for Halo 5, the inclusion of Sprint was one of the most contentious discussions within the studio, specifically because of this escapability problem I just mentioned. But in 2015, Sprint is a staple for the modern FPS gamer. Leaving it out of Halo 5 would have been ignoring a huge portion of the gaming demographics expectations, so the call was made to include it. Additionally,
in other words, we just copied every other fucking game that's on the market.
Sprint, 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 sprint.
infinite sprint, infinite sprint, infinite sprint, infinite sprint.
So because of reasons stated, I think this analysis is horrendously flawed. Needs a lot more detail going into it, and I had to make this video. Now, feel free to subscribe, guys. See you later.